welcome to day 14 of our 30-day college advice series. My name is Adyant, and today we're going to be talking about how do you organize your Common App activities. We're going to talk about what activities should come first, if any, and what sort of the organizational pattern you should have. Now, before we get started, please like this video below, and if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel so you get the latest videos as we continue our college advice series. Now let's get started. So now we're going to be talking about what goes first. What activities should you place first? Is it based on importance? Is it based on the specific type of activity you were doing throughout high school? That's what we're going to be talking about today. Now, if you haven't already created a Common App account, this is basically how it looks like. This is how it's staged in the Common App. Basically, you get to list 10 activities. So if you think you have like 20 activities you've done throughout high school, you only pick 10. So probably pick the 10 important ones that you've done. Now, while you can list up to 10 activities in the Common App, it's not required at all. And colleges which have their own application process, such as MIT and all, they don't even allow 10 activities. So really pick the most important. If you don't have 10 activities, don't feel forced to add, just come up with random activities to fill up those 10 slots. You do not have to. But you can obviously not put more than 10 activities. So this is how it looks. You're gonna select the activity type. Now it might be athletics, it might be community service, based on your activity. Then you are gonna put any sort of position leadership. So if this was a club, were you president, vice president, etc. And then you're gonna be describing your activity and how basically you were involved in this activity. Now, while you don't need to put a position or leadership, you can just put a member of a club or something like that. You should really use this 150 characters for describing your activity very well. Be very concise, but make sure you get to the point of what you do and what you do in this activity and why it's sort of meaningful. Let's talk about how we need to organize this. So again, going back, there are up to 10 activities which you can add on this Common App. And if you did not realize it already, you organize these activities mainly based on importance. Now, you might group it later based on athletics or community service. You might group it on later, but the first 3 activities should be those really important activities that you want the admissions officers to know about. Those are the ones that you spend the most time on, and those are the ones that you've devoted most of your time on and that you are very committed to. Those activities should be listed first. Let's sort of talk about the organizational part of how should you put these activities. Well, in reality, you should really show more than a breadth of expanded view of how many different types of activities you do. Colleges like to see whether you like to commit to one sort of theme, one sort of activity, and do it extremely well, that you commit a lot of time to it. That's what I mean by create a theme. So let's look at an example here. Now we have student 1 who does various activities. As you can see, he does basketball, Model UN, piano, and he's listed all these sort of activities. Now student 2, on the other hand, has everything related to basketball. His 4 activities that he has listed is all related to basketball. In this case, in most cases, colleges want to see a student like student 2. Now, it doesn't mean all 10 activities have to be filled with the same exact sort of or basketball theme or whatever. But they would love to see if maybe 3 out of those 10 activities that you add or whatever, a good amount of those activities surround a sort of theme that they see not only in your essays, but also in these activities. For example, if you talk about liking research and you really love research and you talk about research throughout your essays, colleges, if you add research, maybe you worked on like 4 or 3 research projects throughout high school and you listed it in your activities and they were all research, you have 3 activities of just research, colleges want to see that because that shows what activity are you most committed to, and they can start developing a theme of your application as to who you really are. And they can see not only in your essays but also when you list your activities that yes, you are a researcher, you love research, you have devoted so much time to it. So like that, it's important not only to list your activities in order of importance, but also to think about a theme. Think about when college admissions officers read your profile, what kind of student do they want to see? Do they want to see that basketball athletic student in you? Or do they want to see that research student? What kind of student? Do they want to see a student who loves debating and maybe model UN, wants to get into politics? You should really think about that and sort of create a theme throughout your application. And that includes making that theme in your essays, your supplementals, and everything else. But also, don't forget, your activities can also help create a theme in your overall college application. So, that was it for this video. It was a quick overview of how you should organize your activities in your college application. Thank you for listening. This was day 14 of our 30 days of college advice. Stay tuned for the next video. Take care, and we will see you in the next one.